North to South Africa, East to West Africa, TOS TV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that? Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget, and the budget they look. Some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Show, and I am the People's Journalist.
The Southern Governors Forum, at its meeting today, held in the Government House, Enugu State, reviewed the state of the nation and the progress of implementation of the decision reached in our previous meetings, and further resolved as follows. The meeting expressed satisfaction with the rate at which the states in the southern Nigeria are enacting or amending the anti-open grazing laws, which align with the uniform template and aspiration of southern governors and encourage the states that are yet to enact the law to do so expeditiously. The meeting agreed to encourage the full operationalization of already agreed regional security outfit, which will meet, share intelligence, and collaborate to ensure the security and safety of the region. The meeting reaffirmed its earlier commitment to fiscal federalism as resolved at the inaugural meeting of the forum held on Tuesday, 11 May 2021 at Asaba, Delta State, and emphasized the need for the southern states to leverage the legislative competence of their respective state houses of assembly, as well as representation in the National Assembly, to pursue its inclusion in the Nigerian Constitution through the ongoing constitutional amendment. Following from paragraph 3 above, the meeting resolved to support the position that the collection of VAT falls within the powers of the states.
The court said this is the law until it is reversed. That's the point we're trying to make. And it was something that had a wide publicity. Every Nigerian overseas, everyone knows the position today as regards the issue of VAT concerning the court judgment. Now, let me tell you, Lagos is unfortunate. Lagos is not the same party with me. It's not an issue of party. It's an issue of infraction of the Constitution. It's an issue of illegality. I don't give a damn. If Lagos gets the whole money, that's what the law allows them to get. Well, so why should I fight that Lagos is getting money? Am I the one? Is it Lagos that prepared the Constitution? Is it Lagos State? No. So for you to come and tell me, you know, Lagos is so rich, so what? There are no two economies equal in this world. Even in America, Houston is an oil city, but the biggest economy is California. You take your own advantage. There's no two states that can be the same. Not one, not two states. Not you can say after this is this, after this is this, in terms of this is this, in terms of this. Allow the state to be creative, to utilize the functions as provided in the Constitution and the laws for them to make their state to grow. The powers have already been devolved in the Constitution, but the federal government does not allow us. They don't want to allow us. All they want us to do every day is to come and beg, beg, beg. And I said, I will not beg. Give me what the law says I should take. Take your own. If I misappropriate my own, I'll misapply it. And then I come and beg you. You say, no. I think you're collecting your money. Why are you coming to beg us money?
This was the resolution of Southern governors, who are now insisting on states collecting value-added tax, VAT, themselves. For over a month now, the federal government, state government, and the FIRS have been at loggerheads about who should collect value-added tax generated in the various states. According to experts, this responsibility should remain in the jurisdiction of the state government.
The issue going on is a situation whereby states want to claim their own VAT, while the federal government, through the FIRS, wants to have a collective VAT for everybody and then distribute it among states. Now, what you have is that there are states that are producing very high VAT returns, and there are some that are not producing high at all. And in that situation, the money is lumped together and then is distributed among states. Now, those that do not produce their own VAT or have VAT, they will still be entitled to receive VAT. And those that are doing extremely well and generating VAT would also be given the same with states that don't have. I think that's the current issue going on. And states like Rivers and Lagos State that generate a lot of VAT are kicking against it. They want to maintain their own state independence so that any VAT they collect on behalf of the state is kept and spent by them. Rivers and Lagos, that is what they're fighting for, autonomy of the state. And the FIRS is fighting for a collective collection of VAT for the whole country and then redistributed in states.
It is a very good development to the best of my knowledge, because there is this frank conversation around sharing of resources in the country. And the fact that some states are saying that it is their responsibility to be able to collect consumption tax, which is VAT, I believe is trying to set an agenda for states' autonomy in terms of their finances. And that is going to further strengthen state governments and, if possible, even takes development to the local government as opposed to everything concentrating at the center.
They faulted the sharing formula of the federal government as well as governors, who have openly condemned the move of the southern governors.
To me, it's not realistic. You can never have an equitable economic settings in the world. No matter how idealistic it may sound, realistically it's fake. It's never going to be possible. You can't have equal fingers. You cannot have that. There are some states that are high in income, and there are some states that are low in income. It is the responsibility of the state to balance everybody to be able to size himself according to his own capacity. So if I am low income state, I should be able to know my lapses and see what I can do to better the economic well-being of my own state. If I'm a high income state, I should know how to better channel these resources for a better well-being of my people. But there is no way you now say that we have a setting whereby each state will now equalize based on economics, maybe rationalization, whereby you generate the fund and then you give everybody equal, even the one that is sleeping and the one that is working hard should get the same thing. That is an incentive to laziness, and this should not be encouraged.
I won't say it's been done equitably, because you find out that some states don't generate enough VAT or are not working hard to generate VAT, but they are giving VAT, which is not right. So I will not say it's equitable at all, which, in the other hand, states that are working very hard, trying to generate VAT, you know, putting in a lot of effort, are still giving the same amount with states that are doing nothing at all.
Because I was going to ask, like states like Katsina State, for example, that generates around 2.3 billion monthly, and still gets the exact 2.3 billion after it is be distributed, and states like River State that generates about 33 billion upwards gets around 18 billion. So that's why the question is really on the front burner. Yeah,
I think you cannot blame them, because they are working hard and generating VAT, and why should they not keep the VAT and benefit it to the state? Why should it be shared to other states? You see, we should be moving away from letting states just relax and enjoying federal government purse. That is what is causing underdevelopment. We need states to wake up and work hard to generate their revenue, you know, so that states can work harder. A lot of governors are too relaxed and just waiting for federal government allocation, and that's why you see a lot of our states have a lot of resources untapped and nobody's doing anything. I think it's a very wrong move, because what we should be creating is independency of states. Over-dependency on federal government is not the answer, because federal government can be everywhere. That's why we have a lot of untapped resources in various states, and nothing is happening about it. There's so much concentration on oil, and forgetting the opportunities in other states. So the federal government has enough, it's doing enough already. And you can see people are already crying for, even the police, people want states to have autonomy. So I think if the federal government takes up this battle, it will be too much for the federal government to handle, because it has a lot on its hand already. Look at the security situation. So let the federal government give states some power, give states some autonomy, so that they can go around and generate revenue like it's been done in other countries. You know, I think that should be the way.
They also added that it will expectedly serve as a stepping stone towards increasing state internally generated revenue as well as autonomy.
Assuming Kano State with about 9 million people, each of those citizens of Kano State make calls. Most of them make calls per day. Most of them buy data per day. Most of them buy several items like goods, manufactured goods, including the things we used to eat in our houses, Indomie, the spaghetti, and even pharmaceuticals, paracetamol and all those kind of things. Most of them are operating in Lagos and Ogun State and Port Harcourt. Then you now say, okay, as long as they enter my border, they are vatable. To me, the banks that are operating in Kano, let's say UBA, Zenith Bank, and all those transactions that are passing through this banking system are vatable in Kano. Telecommunications traffic vatable in Kano. The goods that are coming into Kano vatted to Kano. When you calculate this, trust me, the total amount of VAT that Kano State is going to generate is going to double that of Port Harcourt, despite the oil companies that are in Port Harcourt. So all the state governments need to do is just to set up a structure whereby whatever comes in, we define it, we appropriately VAT it and channel it to our own account. We don't allow federal government to come and collect this VAT, because if the federal government collects this VAT, if Kano is supposed to generate 100 billion from it, so that's exactly what it is. So the state governments need to think through that this is a very big opportunity for you to leverage on your people to generate the money you need to better the life of these people. So I believe it's very, very good thing for the state economic autonomy.
The time has come whereby states have to be able to, be accountable for their actions. Now, if you need to pursue your own proper policies in your states that will help to generate revenue. And if you feel that, there should be alcohol should be banned, sale of alcohol should be banned, then it's wrong for you to also try to benefit from returns on those sales. So I think this is driving states towards accountability. States have to be more accountable, and they have to look for ways to generate revenue. You talk about Katsina State, we talk about Zamfara, there's a lot of leakages. Resources are being stolen right, left, and center. In Plateau State, people are going there and mining out tin and all sorts of solid minerals, and there's no accountability. So I think this is the time that states should look inward and generate their own VAT, their own returns, based on their own actions and activities. States have a lot of resources, and the governors have control over it. So they should be able to harness the resources, bring investors so they can generate VAT. They should not relax for other states that are working hard to generate VAT, either through their own activities or through their own actions of the governors for them to benefit. I think that's totally wrong. What we're looking for is development of states, and I think the federal government cannot be, let the truth be told, cannot do everything. And it's important that states are given this autonomy so that they can develop, because that's the quickest way to bring development to Nigeria, because the federal government can have eyes everywhere. That's why we have state governors to micromanage their states and see what the problems are and resolve them. Now, if you are giving states a degree of economic autonomy, then you are giving them the ability to make decisions and, create economic zones in their area that can benefit their people. Do you understand me? Looking at Kogi State now, we're trying to set up a dry port where, the gridlock of Apapa can be channeled to Kogi State. That will generate revenue from it. That will decongest Apapa and all those places and create another level of economic activity in Kogi State. And then make it more accessible to other states, northern states, instead of everybody traveling to Lagos. That will ease traffic. So this is what we are saying. For the sake of economic prosperity of the country, it is important that the federal government make states independent to a very large extent economically, so that they can make economic decisions, because in these decisions they create jobs, they bring in investments, they harness resources, and all that brings about development. So far we've stayed 60 years with the federal government, and development is very slow. I think it's time for us to take a different approach to give states some level of autonomy so that they can develop their states, because states have the potential, and what are we waiting for? So I'm for autonomy for states.
They also added that should states be given the opportunity to control all of its resources, it will go a long way in curbing the attitude of governors always running to the center for bailout.
As long as this money is gathering at the center, it is not going to bring development down to the local communities. And in as much as the state governors are forced to think, not blaming the federal government for their inefficiencies, now taking themselves into accountability of their own governance by making sure that they generate the necessary funding to be able to run their own government, then we will always be having the same problem that we're having here, whereby state governors every end of the month they send finance commissioners to come and collect monies that they didn't work for and then take it to do developmental project. Naturally, that's why you see the money doesn't go down, because it's the money that has no sweat in it. So, but as long as you know that each and every citizen of your state, as they spend, they contribute to the general well-being and the growth and development economically of that state, you will ensure that they have enough money to spend. So that is why it is very important for state governments to be able to collect those consumption tax so that they will ensure distribution of resources to the people so that they can spend in order for them to VAT from that spend.
I don't even think the federal government should be giving states FAC allocation, because this is what is making states very complacent. States now just sit back, wait for FAC allocation, and they don't do anything. Now, if states are to be generating their own revenue, you notice that a lot of governors will sit up. You notice that the governorship position will not be so attractive because you're coming there to work. You're not coming there to, just make money or relax. So it is important, it is very good if we work towards that model of making states hardworking, accountable, generating their own resources, harnessing their own resources. We have lots of states have resources. Look at Zamfara, for example. You can see the amount of gold coming out of Zamfara. And all this thing is being taken by. If you give Zamfara the autonomy to control its own resources, I'm sure there will be no bandits there, because they will do everything to keep it and look after the state in terms of paying the bills and providing infrastructure and paying salaries for the states. So I'm all for states' autonomy, economic state autonomy, in terms of making states to harness their potential, making states to work hard, making states to attract investment, to develop these states. I'm all for that. Thank you.
Being a journalist means in-depth analysis that unravels hidden truths, that question the status quo and fact-checks government.
These criminal elements hiding under the cloak of surveillance contractors are the APC elements.
Do you have facts to prove that?
Being a journalist means waking up every day with a burning desire for peace, equity, and justice for all citizens.
We're being told that the choice you have is to take the lesser of two evils.
It means patriotism via the prism of objectivity and accountability. It means giving my platform to the masses to discuss issues that matter to them.
Some of them, if they bring budget, and the budget they look. Some of them sleep. They're going to ask how much you are on. I have it.
Thereby shaping government policies and laws. My name is Osasu Show, and I am the People's Journalist.
North to South Africa, East to West Africa, TOS TV Network is your digital-first Pan-African news network, bringing you news from across the continent. Visit our website www.tostvnetwork.com and follow us on social media at TOS TV Network on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.